The Hyperreal and the Imaginary, Part 1. Disneyland is a perfect model of all the entangled orders of Simulacra. It is first of all a play of illusions and phantasms, the pirates, the frontier, the future world, etc. This imaginary world is supposed to ensure the success of the operation. But what attracts the crowds the most is without a doubt the social microcosm, the religious, miniaturized pleasure of real America, of its constraints and joys. One parks outside and stands in line inside. One is altogether abandoned at the exit. The only phantasmagoria in this imaginary world lies in the tenderness and warmth of the crowd, and in the sufficient and excessive number of gadgets necessary to create the multitudinous effect. The contrast with the absolute solitude of the parking lot, a veritable concentration camp, is total. Or rather, inside, a whole panoply of gadgets magnetizes the crowd in directed flows. Outside, solitude is directed at a single gadget, the automobile. By an extraordinary coincidence, but this derives without a doubt from the enchantment inherent to this universe. This frozen, childlike world is found to have been conceived and realized by a man who is himself now cryogenized, Walt Disney, who awaits his resurrection through an increase of 180 degrees centigrade. Thus, everywhere in Disneyland, the objective profile of America down to the morphology of individuals and of the crowd is drawn. All its values are exalted by the miniature and the comic strip, embalmed and pacified. Whence the possibility of an ideological analysis of Disneyland. El Moran did it very well in Utopiques, Jeu d'espace, Utopias, Play of Space. Digest of the American way of life, panegyric of American values, idealized transposition of a contradictory reality, certainly. But this masks something else, and this ideological blanket functions as a cover for a simulation of the third order. Disneyland exists in order to hide that it is the real country, all of real America that is Disneyland. A bit like prisons are there to hide that it is the social in its entirety, in its banal omnipresence that is carceral. Disneyland is presented as imaginary in order to make us believe that the rest is real, whereas all of Los Angeles and the America that surrounds it are no longer real, but belong to the hyperreal order and to the order of simulation. It is no longer a question of a false representation of reality, ideology, but of concealing the fact that the real is no longer real, and thus of saving the reality principle.